Alright, listen up, boys, and listen good. Today is the day where a culmination of blood, sweat, and pain all come together in perfect harmony. Today is a day where we undoubtedly emerge victorious from the battlefield. Today is the first day of the Brawl Stars monthly qualifiers. I'm taking Shelly. Wait. Allow me to introduce the bloodthirsty comrades that I picked up to be on my team. Last week, I decided that I wanted to play in the monthly qualifiers and make a YouTube video. And in order to do that, I was going to need two teammates that were willing to put their body and sanity on the line. I immediately had the idea to ask Sword, who is the current coach of Stamina Esports, aka Bobby and OG's professional team. This guy's got the brains and he's the perfect fit for my team. So I reached out to Sword on Discord, and initially he told me to leave him alone. However, after cleverly switching my words around, he was in. Next up, I needed to recruit a third player, and admittedly, I was stumped. I didn't know who to ask. I was out of options. A few hours later, I randomly received a DM from my friend Tylo, who's also a fellow YouTuber and a notorious ladder warrior. He asked me if I wanted to play some ladder with him, and I cleverly retort with an offer to join our battle-ready militia, which he willingly accepted. And there it is. With our newly formed team, we were ready to absolutely pop off on the main stage. So round one is underway, and we're playing these guys. One of our opponents has 7,000 duo wins, so honestly, we weren't too worried about our 3v3 combat. Then we thought it'd be funny to already up on Shelly, and now it's time to play our first match. After a pretty great draft, thanks to the brains of our operation, Coach Sword, we were all set to pop off. Game one starts off, and we get to work right away. We push them all the way back into their spawn, we gain full control of the map, and after an insane back-to-back super from Sword, we were able to gain about a 40% lead. Things were looking good. Now, I'm not gonna lie. Game one was no sweat at all. There was no fear that we were ever going to lose. We got in there, we held control the whole time, and like I said, there was no fear of losing. Honestly, I don't even think I died one single time. However, game two was a different story. At the beginning of the match, the enemy Bell and Stu swap lanes, making it extremely tough for me to win my lane. After a few seconds, Sword and Tylo go down, and the opponents actually break through and get about 40% damage to our vault. After all of that, it was clearly time to focus up. Later on in the fight, we get a couple of quick kills and some sneaky vault damage, and we were right back in it. We go back and forth, exchanging kills for kills, damage for damage, and then we get a fantastic opening, and we jump to about a 20% lead. 15 seconds on the clock, and all we have to do is defend. It's simple. We have to sit back and just make sure we get a couple of kills, and boom. Just like that, we're up 1-0 in this tournament. Now it's time for match number 2, which was Knockout. And the first thing that I told my team was that I've never ever played Knockout before in my life. I'm gonna be 100% honest, I have never played Knockout. Also unrelated, one of these guys says he's a fan of my videos, so I sent them a swift pew pew as a response, and then I said thank you. Sword triumphantly led us through the rigorous drafting process and pretty much held our hands throughout the entire game as well. Mine and Tylo's mission? Simple. To follow and protect Sword. And so that's what we did. Our plan was straightforward, and it worked. Round 2, same strat. We follow Sword, we protect him, and we work together. After a pretty close call from a Colette super that came out of nowhere, we picked up a few kills, and just like that, we're up 1-0. Again. Game 2 of Knockout, and again, we run the same strat. If it worked the first 2 times, why would we change it? We hold on to Sword's leash like we're walking a dog, and honestly, it worked out really well. Tylo aids Sword in staying alive, and meanwhile, I'm sneaking up around the top of the map to try and pinch and funnel the enemies together. A few kills later, we win the round. I start off this round by accidentally pressing my gadget button, and then Tylo hits the longest yeah boy of all time and sends himself flying across the entire map. The game progresses on, we're chipping away back and forth, and a few kills later, we win Knockout, which also means we win round 1 of the tournament. Round 1 wasn't too tough, no close calls, no dropped rounds, just a smooth gaming experience. With a round 1 victory under our belts, it's now time for round 2 of the tournament. Round 2 is an interesting one. We're squaring up against some of our friends, some very, very good players. Sword once again leads us through the draft, and our comp ended up being pretty good. Game 1 starts off, and I started to struggle against the Piper almost immediately. I got tapped back to back to back. Pam's hitbox is the size of the Titanic, like Jesus. Naked and afraid in the middle of the map with little to no health left, I decided to try and retreat and regen some health. Shortly after that, they pretty much wiped our entire team, and things weren't looking good. Up until Tylo, the sneaky boy himself, gets a very cheeky assassination kill on their gem carrier. Gems all over the floor. This was complete and utter chaos. That single kill allowed us to regain control, and we actually managed to get countdown. And honestly, this was a free win. Up until I completely ignore my teammates' call for me to retreat and not feed our enemies super. Now, to be fair, in my defense, the Tara hit me with one single card and got her super. For example, Tara takes about 13 cards to get her super. I got hit by one, and it just so happened to be the last one required for her to get her pull. I would take that gamble again 100%. I know, I kind of threw this game. The Tara hit the pull, they wipe our team, they make it out of the spawn with a bunch of gems, but the game wasn't over. We kept fighting, but unfortunately, to no avail, we lose game 1. Now, game 2 is where we were hoping to change things around. Right off the bat, I get to wiggling at the start. I'm moving, I'm bobbing, I'm weaving, I'm dodging a ton of Piper shots. Tylo manages to slip behind our opponents once again and is able to pick up a very good kill onto their Piper. At this point, things are looking okay-ish, kinda. However, don't hold your breath because things are about to get rough. Sword falls to the fate of the Grom, and Tylo also dies to the Tara pull, and then after that I get destroyed by the Piper, and from there we couldn't do much. We just got out-comped, outplayed. They're just better players. We go on to lose that set, and we find ourselves down 0-1 as we head over to Hot Zone. In the Hot Zone set, I end up picking Leon, which I literally never play, ever. And to no surprise, things get rough. Very rough, very fast. At the beginning of the game, the Rico pretty much instantly sneaks up into our grass and stays there for pretty much the whole game. We literally just didn't have a way to evict our bouncy friend, and before we knew it, we were down by like 70% to 10. However, after some clever maneuvering, some lane swapping, we actually managed to get some control in this game. Spirits were up, and we believed in the comeback. I think we said this game was winnable like 50 times during this match. Shortly after this, the enemies pick up a couple of kills, and with seconds counting down, the enemies managed to steal game 1. Round number 2 is underway, and if we lose this, we then get sent to the losers bracket. We start off by swapping lanes, and Tylo absolutely destroys the Rico. Does not let him get in the grass at all. We actually start off with a bit of a lead, which is great, up until when the Rico swaps over to my lane and things start to get dicey. We essentially just sit there and get spawn trapped with no escape in sight. They pretty much just sat there and teed off on us over and over. It was insane. We fight back, keeping the game close, but after they pick up about 2 kills, our hearts start to sink as we realize us losing is imminent. And just like that, we get sent down to the losers bracket. Heartbroken, upset, discouraged, just a few words that come to mind. To the other losers, us getting upset? No shot, bro. We completely obliterate the first 2 teams in the losers bracket. I'm sorry, guys. If you're watching, it wasn't even close. And just like that, round 3 of the losers bracket is upon us, and we're facing a pretty good team. We began to strategize our drafting process, and shortly after that, it was time to play. Our strategy going into this was to take brawlers that we're good with. After the Leon incident from an earlier match, I wanted to go something comfortable. We learned this intel later on, but another professional player was in our opponent's voice chat helping them with the draft, which is some super snake behavior, Orochimaru looking guy. Anyway, we dive into the match on Hot Potato, and things immediately take a turn for the worst. The enemies end up doing about 40% vault damage in the first 30 seconds with little to no issues. We manage to fight back, getting a few kills and exchanging some damage. They end up pushing us back a little bit, and then Sword completely whiffs a Rico super.
What the f***? Why did my Rico super go over there? I auto-aimed it and it just went to the side. What the?
Looking like Stevie Wonder on the iPad. My god. The enemies continue their onslaught and we find ourselves down by a lot. There was like 20 seconds left at this point and I audibly announced that the game is winnable. We somehow believed we could do about 80% damage in that amount of time. I don't know who let us think that. And just like that, we lose game 1, completely folded in half like a lawn chair. Now heading into game 2, it was honestly just more of the same. Their comp was just tough to play against. We start off by exchanging some kills, but we quickly take on an absurd amount of damage. This boat was sinking fast, and Tara with her shadow clone jutsu and heist is kind of just insane, man. Towards the middle or the end of the game, I blunder a turret placement, but realistically, it didn't matter. This game was an L from the start. Now, if we lose this next set, we're out of the tournament. This can't be the end of our triumphant run, right? This is it, boys. The final game. Crystal Arcade. Everything on the line. Our draft ended up being pretty good, and so was theirs, because they had another professional player helping them. Our biggest thing for this game was making sure that we keep our matchups. So we wanted Daryl versus Rosa and Sandy versus Tara, and we started off doing that pretty well. However, despite that, we find ourselves down 9-4 in the gem count. Things aren't looking good. Then Sword does the unthinkable. He rolls right onto the enemy gem carrier and picks up a kill. Gems scattered all over the floor, and while he's trying to escape, he goes down. However, I did manage to steal a few gems. These handful of gems are huge because it gives us the opportunity to reset the countdown. We exchange some kills, but unfortunately, our opponents overpower us and take full control of the gem mine. They get the countdown and then retreat to the spawn with all of the gems. With mere seconds on the clock, we push deep into enemy territory. We end up pinching them, getting a kill, resetting the count. Once again, gems all over the floor, but unfortunately, Tylo dies while we try to escape. This death makes things very complicated because now me and Sword, our two aggressive players, have all the gems. Now the battle, the countdown ensues. We pick up a gem, they pick up a gem. Countdown resets, countdown starts. Countdown resets, countdown starts. Things are dead even. Then, out of nowhere, Tylo and Sword get double pulled by the Tara, and that pretty much solidified our fate in this game. Game 2, now underway. Sword dies in early death, and this allowed the Rosa to fully push through our spawn and kill me and Tylo in the process. This is where we make mistakes. Sword and I just didn't keep our lanes. Tara counters Daryl, Rosa counters Sandy. This is not a good situation. Daryl against Tara isn't good because Tara just gets fed her super, which is pretty much our downfall in this game. After Tara gets her pull, they wipe our team, and that's that. The end of our journey. We're eliminated from the tournament. Listen, I had a lot of fun playing in this, guys, and I will 100% do this again next month. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys later. See you tomorrow. Peace.